10 minutes. T-minus 9 minutes. T-minus 8 minutes. T-minus 7 minutes. T-minus 6 minutes. minus 5 minutes. Minus for minutes. Minus 3 minutes. Minus 2 minutes. Minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
Very special show today. Hi, everybody. And we got our best friends with us here, too. It's our 1800th episode. How about that, Colin Patterson, Stanley Cup Champion? Live from Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Just wait for it. The big intro's coming here. There it is. Ta-da! From the Rod Pedersen Show lane at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. It's the RP Show with a special... Gary, can you get loud, you guys? Give us a hand. Yay! Today, got Randy. Yes, live studio audience. We do it every year. Last year, we brought Thelwell Fleury down here. We did one better this year. Yeah, you guys are best friends. I'm teasing you and Theo. Colin Patterson, your Stanley Cup champion from 1989. Yeah, he's got the horn going. Buffalo Sabres, Calgary Flames alum. And a little later on, Randy will be joining us from Overtime Hockey Lanes right here at the table. And Ryan Thelwell, Calgary Stampeders, and NFL veteran Ryan Thelwell will be joining the program here as well on a very special show. I'm out here to see Overtime Hockey Lanes. We do it every summer. But, of course, the Breaking Free Foundation Golf Classic, I always call it Theo Fleury's Foundation, which is probably not right, but I don't think you guys mind, right?
No, I think that's a good description of it. He and Amber Craig started it, so Theo is so important to the charity and to Calgary.
Yes, so that's what we are doing here over 2 days, 2 live shows in Calgary, ready to talk some sports and hear from the viewers and all the rest. The usual stuff is open. 902-518-3033 for Western. The comments are coming in already. If you don't want to get distracted, Patter, right there. Jason from Red Deer writes in. He says, can I get somebody taking shots on Rod to see if he's still got game? I was a goalie.
Rod still got game.
Yeah,
he still got game.
From what you hear. Yeah. See, maybe we'll
just ask him, right?
Right. I was going to say, maybe we'll don the tools of ignorance before the day is over, and I'll get out here and take some shots. What do you think of this place, by the way?
It's great. Like if you're somebody who wants to practice your skills, this is a perfect spot to do it.
Absolutely. You have not got the tour. You literally walked in, and they brought you in like the Prince of Calgary, sat you right down. But
yeah, I've been here before though. So
you have
the tour. Yes.
I wondered.
Yeah.
Oh, you have. So what do you like about it? Honestly,
you know what? I really like the fact that you can come here, you can take shots, you can work on stick handling. You can wear your skates if you want, but if you just want to wear your outdoor shoes, you can, and that's the perfect thing about it. We've sort of lost that whole thing about ball hockey, playing ball hockey, and we got a mask for you too. It's gonna be great.
I look better when I put a mask on. Is that what you're saying, Randy? You're going to meet the boss. The viewers that watched last year will remember Randy was on the program with us with Theo, and I feel like we had somebody else down here as well, but I can't remember. Well, so I said to Patter that we're going to stay on format. I know that you want to tell some Peter Marr stories, right? And we're going to talk hockey, but the gentleman is from Toronto. The big story. I asked him, how much are you following the Blue Jays? Be honest, Patter. I don't know what you said.
You know what? I follow them when, they start to get close to a playoff
Me
run.
too.
And that's when I really start following them. I, fortunate enough back, I think it was 76 or 77, went to the opening game.
You were there?
C&E, yeah. They had the Zambonis going around. Doug Alt hit 2 taters. He was number 25. And it was a thrilling moment, to see professional, Major League Baseball in Toronto.
This is great. I'm going to keep your eyes off the chat because you might get triggered. Rich from Edmonton writes in. He says, Rod wearing Alberta's second team.
Well, I don't know.
It never ends around.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. And that's the thing.
You
when
like
you have
that?
rivalries, and they're good rivalries. Back in the day, this 2 cities used to hate each other. It's not so much now, but the teams are forming a good rivalry.
I kind of feel like they do. They don't like each other. They just don't hate each other.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. There's a dislike, but not a hate.
Yeah, well, so we'll get into more Blue Jays talk. You're exactly like me. I am a Blue Jays fan when they're winning. And I had all our Toronto viewers last year say, oh, you're a fair weather Jays fan. Yes, thanks for noticing. Because I've never understood those, and you've probably heard it, Patter. I follow the NHL in the playoffs. What? I follow with 365.
Yeah.
I know you do.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so it happens. There are people like that in this world, apparently.
Yeah, but, there are diehard baseball fans.
That's what I'm
there
saying.
all the time, and good for them. We were back in Toronto earlier in June, I guess, and we went to a Jays game, which was a lot of fun.
Did you buy your tickets? I hear they're hella expensive.
You know what? I didn't find them that expensive. When you're sitting out in the outfield, that it's pretty reasonable.
Okay, well, cheapest ticket I heard is $120 for the Blue Jays. And the thing is, you're noticing, and by the way, we have a lot to get through, Patter. This opening segment goes real fast. That's why I'm kind of flying through it. We'll slow down a little bit. And it is a Wednesday. On Wednesdays in the summer, we vote for Canada's Game of the Week in the CFL. The Stampeders are off, by the way, so I won't get your CFL thoughts, unless you have any.
I'm not going to throw them out right
now. Yeah, okay, cool. You might want to think about that a little bit. But with sports and with business, when you're winning, you can charge more. Right, and that's kind of what happened with the Blue Jays. Did this town get swept up on the run last year?
Absolutely. Everybody did.
Yeah.
And I think, for playoff tickets, they were saying, hey, if you buy season tickets for next year, you can get your playoff tickets. And so they sold a lot of season tickets last year. And, hopefully they go on another run. I mean, that was a miracle run last year. And sometimes, they'll never get as close as they were last year, losing in Game 7. But it was a thrilling run, and hopefully they do get back to the playoffs.
Well, that's why I just wondered, but I guess you've been gone from Toronto a long time, but for our Ontario viewers, he's from Rexdale, and I always get it confused with Rexall, and you say I'm not the only guy here that gets you confused with that. Confused with that.
My good buddy Lanny McDonald always throws that one out when he wants to throw a jab at me. It's Rexdale.
He's back better than ever, huh?
He is. He's doing really well.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's great for everybody.
Okay, well, Tim, we have a minute and a half. Tell me about Rexdale, Ontario, where you grew up. What's that?
It's in the west end of Toronto. It's in the borough of Etobicoke. If you looked it up online, it would say the least desirable place to live within Etobicoke. But it was a great spot to grow up. Played lacrosse and hockey and had lots of fun. Still have great friends. Go back every year for a baseball tournament we call Dom Day. It was our 48th year. It's all my buddies and my brothers and their buddies and now our kids. And it's a fantastic event. It's 2-pitch, so it goes fairly quickly. It's gone from a 2-day tournament to probably a 5-day extravaganza.
Well, it must have gone well when you played for the Sabres, too.
It did.
That was a quick little road trip for your family. So we'll take a brief pause. I'll tell you, when we talk hockey, it's for the Mad Greek. Whether it's pizza, ribs, or authentic Greek favorites, make it the Mad Greek Eatery. You love the Mad Greek. Hey, did you have a great meal there, Gary? Did you have the ribs? Yeah, of course he did. Order online, pick up, or dine in at the madgreekeatery.com. And the text lines for Western Dodge, from trucks to SUVs, Western Dodge has what you're looking for. Visit their showroom or westerndodge.ca. We're having a great chat live from Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. It's our 1800th show, Season 8 of the RP Show, and we'll be back in a moment on Game Plus streaming, YouTube Live, podcast, and WQVZ Radio.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Live from Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. 902-518-3033 is the text line. Colin Patterson is with us, Stanley Cup champion, Calgary Flames alum, both the Sabres and the Calgary Flames. And by the way, I know there's a lot of CFL questions coming in. I'll get to those later on because we are at our sponsors today for the 1800th show, Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. Come on down and check us out, 28th Street, Northeast, Calgary. I would say still the biggest news. You guys must still be talking about Peter Maher, the legendary voice of the Flames, passing away, announced last Thursday, almost a week ago. You said for our hot stove tomorrow for Theo's golf tournament that you want to talk about it. Can you talk about Pete now?
Yeah, we can definitely talk about Pete. He was just a great man, obviously a legend amongst announcers, on the radio. And I think people, today wouldn't understand that not every game was on TV when we played. They might have 27 televised games. So the rest of the games, everybody was listening to the radio. And people loved Peter Maher, and he did such a great job. Fantastic guy. So sad to lose him. I mean, he just, within the community of Calgary, but also the hockey community in general, it's tough to lose a guy like that.
I loved him. He taught me so much about the play-by-play, the ins and outs. He's just a kind, generous man with his time. And to be honest, that's kind of what we'd all like to be remembered for, I would think, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you remember about him. He's just a great person. People talk about, he's in the media. Well, when we played, he was part of our team. You didn't consider him part of the media. He knew, when to turn it on and turn it off. But he was part of our team. Him and Doug Barkley traveled with us all the time. We always took commercial flights, so we were always having a lot of fun together. But Peter was one of the guys, and that's what you loved about Peter Maher.
By the way, from the audience, Virginia, Eric checking in, Mason Neck, Virginia. Patter was asking me how the show's going. I said our fastest growing demographic is the USA. I don't know why. They just, for whatever reason, they like it, but still, the majority of the viewers are in the Great White North. But as people check in, you've been around this show long enough. What is it? It's a coffee get-together. It's friends talking sports.
And that's what the beauty of it is, Rod. And you lead that well is, we're friends and you just enjoy the conversation.
Well, I know I do. And so for whatever we're talking about here today, Shane checks in from Deer Valley, says, morning, Rod and Colin Patterson here, Stanley Cup champion, as I mentioned, with the Flames. Never gets old, does it?
No, it doesn't. No.
It not.
I wish it was more. I wish it was more Stanley Cups champion.
It's funny you say that. If I could turn this thing around, this camera, This is one of I don't know how many lanes they have, just so you know. And you're going to meet the owner, Randy, later on in an hour or two. But we say baseball has batting cages, golf has driving ranges. Why would hockey not have shooting lanes? That's what we have here. And so on that wall, there's a wooden jerseys painted. You wouldn't know they're wood of every NHL team. And have you noticed anything new to the wall since the last time you were in here?
Well, you know what? I think there's a couple of new teams in here.
Well, that and little miniature Stanley Cups.
Oh, yeah. I see them
Based
underneath.
on how many cups they've won. And I'm sitting here going, oh, poor Buffalo, poor Winnipeg, poor Columbus, poor Minnesota. It's a bigger group than you'd think.
Yeah, and, for some of those teams been around a long time. Buffalo, they've come close a couple times, and hopefully they win one. Obviously playing for Buffalo, I'm a Buffalo fan. Last year, I thought they did a great job. They went, I was hoping they would win, beat Montreal in that Game 7, but they didn't, just to advance to get that experience, because you need that experience with a young team. Calgary, we want them to win another for sure, maybe 4 or 5 more, and then I can drive back up to Edmonton.
You don't go there because, but here's the thing, folks. Randy, the owner, was saying a friend of his made it's like PVC, like what you would make your deck out of. That's what those little cups are, painted. And so some teams have no cups underneath, and they're about 6 inches high, about 4 inches wide. The Montreal jersey has cups down the side, across, over, all around the jersey. There's not enough room underneath for their 20. What is it, 28? How many? No, 23 for them. 24?
24.
28 for the Yankees. Do you hate the Montreal Canadiens or no?
No, I don't. I like the Montreal Canadiens. I think it's such a storied franchise. They probably... when you look at Toronto and Montreal, Toronto gets all the press. Montreal doesn't. And if you turn on TV at any time, it's Toronto, Maple Leafs, because they're obviously the biggest audience. But when you look at a team like Montreal, they've done a great rebuild. They've got an exciting team, and they're getting close. And I have no problems with Montreal at all.
Brady checking in from Panama City, Florida. You see you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
great. Yeah, it's really, really neat.
Well, and they're hockey fans, which I think you are, Brady. I would assume that's why you're here. It's nice to see a few cups under that Florida jersey, and there's 3 under the Tampa Bay jersey. So that's a really nice addition, Randy. Every time I come in here, there's something new. There's something cool going on. He's got his day camps. He's got all this fun stuff going on here at Overtime Hockey Lanes. But speaking of cool new stuff.
Are you talking about Randy's sweatsuit?
That's not new. And I was kicking myself because I didn't bring mine. I wear it it's in Moose Jaw, just so you know. Isn't that something?
It's beautiful.
It's Kings colors, LA Kings. You're going to see it, everybody, in hour 2
Vintage
at Randy
Kings
Joe's.
colors.
Vintage, the real Kings now. Yeah, I don't know why they ever changed their colors. But I was with Flames personnel last night, you know who, and I said, what should I do? I'm only in town for like less than 48 hours. What should I do? Because you got to go down and see the rink.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. And hard to believe, first of all, it's the last year for the Saddle Dome. But the new rink, we were fortunate enough to get a tour of it, and it's going to be wonderful. It's, they're so great. There's so much technology, too, involved, but every sightline is going to be really good.
Well, here's an interesting thing, and I'm not done talking about that rink yet, but Randy said he moved here in 1983. You came in around then.
I came in 1983.
Well, there you go.
Randy, when did you come? What month? July. I came in September.
Yeah, not that long after. Okay.
I always said it's the town that Randy built. Yeah.
Right. Well, speaking of building, I mean, what year did the Saddle Dome open? 84?
It opened in 83. It opened in September 83.
I'm kind of getting a few shivers because you said you had that tour, and I want to hear about that. But I remember standing on the gravel floor of the Saddle Dome when the shell was up but not the roof. And my dad was scouting for the Calgary Wranglers at the time, and Doug Sauter was the coach. They're 2 old cowboys, really. And so Doug's standing, and he goes, they're going to put a roof on this thing shaped like a saddle. We're like, what? And at the time, I was talking about this with Corey, like innovative at the time. Somehow over the time, that became obsolete, and that's a problem.
It is, yeah. It's crazy. And, when that goes away, when the Saddle Dome goes away, you lose that, visual of Calgary. And that's the unfortunate part. It would have been great to put a saddle on the new one, even if it was just above it. But for reasons that, it becomes obsolete, they couldn't have the saddle. So
funny you say that, because Rich in Edmonton writes in, he says, the old barn will be missed, Flames fans. Believe me, I still miss the Coliseum. But the same things were happening in the Saddle Dome as happened at
Rexall or Northlands, whatever you want to say, like things falling apart. You've ridden up in the elevators, things are falling. You don't know if you're going to get to the top. Like it's got to go. Are the people at the nostalgic stage yet of the Saddle Dome?
I think they're getting there. Once the season starts, I think people will start to realize, boy, this is the last time. And as you get to the last half of it, then you're really going to start to get that nostalgia about it. For me personally, I think it'll be a sad day for me and for guys who started in the Saddle Dome. It'll be tough to see it go, but you understand once you go to new rinks and you can go get a drink, and go to the washroom and get back and still watch the game. That's the benefit, and I think the new rink, they've thought of a lot of really interesting things for from washrooms to food venues to how you get in, how you get out. All those things will be much better than it is now.
Well, the Flames staffer I was with last night said the dressing room alone, just the equipment, well, you had the tour. He said 20,000 square feet.
Well, they must have shortened it because it was 25,000 when we went through.
You're going to hear different figures.
They took
big.
Out, yeah.
Still really, really big. So let us know where you're watching from. I feel like Patter's getting particular fascination with where the audience is tuning in from here today on the RP Show. For those that have just joined us, it's our 1800th episode. We're live from Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, where I came to school. A lot of great memories in this town, college that is, and called some exciting games too. The 2012 World Juniors I was the voice of on Sportsnet Radio. I'm going to need to get your thoughts on that. And Pat's Hitman games, Game 7, Pavel Brendo breaking our heart, Game 7 overtime. Sucks to be on the other side of those.
It sure does. I mean, when you're on the winning side, it's always great, but when you're on the losing side, it is tough.
Yeah, you don't forget those. But for the Florida viewers, of which we have a few here, I was saying to Colin Patterson before the show, as soon as I get home, I'm going to ask Matthew Tkachuk to rate Battle of Florida versus Battle of Alberta because he's played in both. What do you think his answer will be? As you know the guy.
Yeah, I think it'll be the Battle of Florida. I think it's way more intense since he's been there. You've got obviously them winning the cup, winning 2 cups, and you've got Tampa Bay, great team, winning cups too. So there is that, they're at a good point in their rivalry where it's very competitive every game. They're going to meet in the playoffs. All that, adds into a big rivalry. When you look at the Flames, they haven't, they were starting that when Matthew was here, but, when they played Edmonton for the first time, I think in 30 years, against Calgary in the playoffs. But that was that year. Before that and after that, it's dwindled a bit, but it's still exciting. But you're not playing them 8 times in regular season. You don't play them 4 times in exhibition and then in playoffs. So, yeah, you know what? When you look at what Florida and Tampa are doing, that creates a big rivalry.
I guess with this new schedule, which is 84 games, and this year that's this year it's in, right? 84 games. So there's 4 games between the Flames and Oilers, which you'd love to have 8. But it's better than 3. It's John Brady. Hey, John, from Panama City, Florida. He says, what a rivalry the Panthers and Tampa has turned into. The amazing thing is it took 25 years to get there. That's amazing. Like you were here early days, Flames, Oilers, pretty much. Didn't take long.
No, it didn't take long, but they had a great team, and fortunately for us, we built a good team. Cliff Fletcher did, and there's another guy we can talk about who passed away this year.
Tough year that way.
Really has.
Eric, I love this. Mason Neck, Virginia. Well, I'm starting to realize it. They don't get hockey talk in those places. They really don't. Colin in Mason Neck, Virginia says, I haven't started to pay attention yet, but what are your thoughts on the Washington Capitals and Ovi? He was asking the other day, because I've been putting FanDuel's rankings up, and you don't want to know where the Flames, you probably know where they're ranked for this upcoming season. But I haven't got to the Capital. I know what it is. I just haven't posted it yet. They're ranked 2nd, Washington, in the Metropolitan Division. And they've always been pretty good for quite a while.
Yeah, and I mean, when you have a key cornerstone like Ovi, I mean, he just, every time you think you count him out, you go, oh, he's not going to score this year. He keeps piling them in. And you know what? When you have a guy like that who can put them in on, especially on the power play, makes your power play that much more successful, you can have a competitive team. Obviously you need everything else going on the team, but when you have a good power play and you have a solid player like him that you can count on, makes a big difference.
They are ranked second in the division, which I think you can sit here, Eric, and say, you're going to be in the playoffs. How far you go, we don't know. But playoffs is the goal. Obviously, that's where you start anyways. Captain Lou checks in. He says, congrats on your 1800th episode. Sounding great here in Michigan. Scott in Vancouver says, Colin, do you have your cup ring on today?
I don't have it on, but I did bring it with me. So
you did?
Yeah, I will get it out for you.
That's the camera right where that little green dot is. You use MacBooks?
Yeah, I've advanced to that. I just got off the stone
Commodore
chisel.
64.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh, how about that?
Name and number on one side, and then we got the President's Trophy, came first overall.
I would pass it around the room, but I wouldn't do that to you. Stanley Cup champion. That also never gets old. So yeah, that was, oh man, they really did it right, didn't they?
Yeah, it was, it's a great memento. I mean, the rings now are so big.
I was too big.
Yeah, I saw Randy Mueller this summer, and he had the last Florida one on. It was probably 2 or 3 times the size of that. Yeah,
that's
crazy.
The one kind of in the triangle shape.
Yeah,
that's right. You can't even get your hand in your pocket, is what the guys say.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back. A couple more segments to go with Colin Patterson, Stanley Cup champion, as you heard. Ryan Thelwell coming up in hour 2. We'll be right back on the RP Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote Rebel, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina. This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Very special day, live from Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary for our 1800th episode. Stanley Cup Champion, Sabres and Flames alum Colin Patterson with us, live audience here at Overtime Hockey Lanes, 28th Street, Northeast Calgary. There's still time for you to get down here. Randy's put out treats, or maybe more specifically, Michelle. Michelle, I get it. The hostess with the mostest. Ryan Thelwell coming up in hour 2, and you're going to meet Randy himself, the owner of this place. Just a couple more from the audience. Bo writes in. I don't think it's Bo Levi, my buddy. He says, congrats on 1,800 shows, Rod. Still as good as episode 1, just getting better. Watching from Margot, Saskatchewan. Thank you, Bo. I appreciate that. And access from Stacy from Access World Headquarters. Where the hell did it go? Congrats on 1,800. So, yeah, big day celebrating with our friends all down here at Overtime Hockey Lanes. I mentioned those rankings, Colin Patterson. I do got to get into them with you. Sorry. And we're going to do where we are right now is the Pacific Division, as I call them up here. You might want to cover your ears.
Oh, no. I've heard lots before.
Okay. Edmonton, number 1.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? When you got 2 of the best players in the world, it's tough to put them anywhere else.
Okay. That went easier than I thought.
Yeah.
I was going to say this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. Edmonton 1, Vegas 2, LA 3, Anaheim 4, San Jose 5, Seattle 6, Calgary 7, Vancouver 8. So, and that's from FanDuel. I've had people get mad at me. It's not me. It's FanDuel. All right. So what do you think of those?
Well, it's interesting. I think San Jose, I thought they ranked them a little lower than what I would have. They've made some good offseason moves. They've got a great team. They've got some real good young talent. So I would see them moving up a bit. You know, LA's a solid team too. But when you get, between LA, Anaheim, and San Jose, there's some pretty good rivalries there too. We talk about Alberta, we talk about, Florida, you talk about, Ontario. There's a spot where, in California, you got 3 teams that are,
Well, it's now.
Yeah.
It's taken a while.
Oh, yeah, it always does. I mean, when you're building up teams, you think, hey, this draft choice is going to change my team, and they don't. I mean, unless you're getting, the first or second overall, a lot of times, you don't have that impact player that can carry the load, but sometimes you can find those guys. Yeah, but it takes time to build around them. You look at Edmonton. Edmonton, has had Connor McDavid for a long time. It's only been the last 4 or 5 years that things have really clicked together for them. So, yeah, it takes time to build a franchise. It takes time to get the culture that you want in that franchise and the players you want, and find, if you're looking at free agency, you got to find players that fit your culture. Even when you're drafting, you got to say, hey, is this guy going to fit my culture? Or is he going to come in and want to get out? And that's what you want to avoid.
It's funny because you don't ever hear fans and really media talk about culture. They don't. We do. And while I am media, I'd like to think I'm more of one of you guys. And my point of that is, I know you don't follow the CFL, but you got the Ottawa Redblacks are 0-9. They've fired coaches. They've cut star players. They just fired their president the other day. And it's a culture thing. And you've been with good cultures and bad cultures, I'm assuming you have. And my point is that people don't talk about it, and it's the most important thing. You said you just talked to Randy Moller the other day. He's been with the Panthers for 30 years. He's seen it both ways. So my point to you, Colin, is if you not started an expansion team, everybody wants to say, oh, who would you draft first? No, if you took over a crappy 32nd overall team and you knew that it had a bad culture, because I'm sorry to say Chicago does, and some of these teams, Vancouver.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you would do if you're the owner and you could do whatever you wanted?
Well, if you're the owner, one is you want to get the right general manager and let that general manager run the team and hire the proper coach, the scouting. Scouting is so important. I think people overlook that. Having a competent scouting team is very important. Whether you use analytics or just the old fashioned, you're going to watch players. You got to know who you're drafting, know what they're about, and build your culture off of that. But it takes time to build it. you just don't build it overnight. It's not something that you draft some really good players, great individuals as people, as well as players. It doesn't turn it around right away. So you've got to, plan. You've got to, like any business, you got to look at, where are your core assets? How are you going to build around them? And what do you need to do to bring everybody together? And that's what culture is about. When you're coming in the room and everybody respects each other, no matter what you're doing within that team, even the organization, whether the person's, taking tickets in the organization or they're driving the Zamboni, everybody needs to be treated with respect. And I think, you treat them as family. And that's where, I think the Flames have done a good job, especially during our years. We were always treated like family. From the ownership group on, it was, you could count on each other.
Viewer Eric says culture. That's a buzzword I hear from time to time. Culture is real important, no doubt. No, they should be talking about it every day. We should be checking the temperature on our culture. Viewer John says culture drives the brand and the brand drives the culture. You can't have one without the other. That is all true, and that's my point. So when you say you start with the general manager, which you're not wrong, but in Vancouver they hire Patrick Allvin. I mean, he's already gone. Here in Calgary, I don't know how Craig Conroy's going to do, but clearly he wouldn't have got that job if they didn't love him and believe he could do the job. You obviously would know him well.
Yeah, I've known Craig since he was 10 years old.
Okay.
So, he's a great person, and that's,
it's a good place to start.
Good place to start. He's played the game at a high level. He's been a great player. And plus, he has lived in Calgary and has worked for the Flames for, he worked for them for, I think, 8 or 9 years before he got this, the general manager job. So he knows his stuff. He knows what it takes to live in Calgary, to play in Calgary, and to be successful in Calgary. So that's what you love about Craig. He's come in, he's taken, some of the assets they had, he's moved them on that maybe there was contract issues or guys didn't want to be here. And that's his thing. He goes, hey, if you don't want to be here, come and talk to me and I'll move you. Don't make it, a big thing in the press, because once you do that, your value drops and everybody else knows it. So he's done a great job of bringing in assets, as they say, filling the cupboard up. But, they've got some good young players. I think where he did an extremely excellent job, and that sounds bad, extremely excellent, but where he's done a great job is, in trading some guys and getting some supplementary guys that people don't know about that are going to be pretty good. So they picked up some kids last year that I think are going to be really good, and he's been able to sign a couple of free agents out of university, which I think are going to be very positive for the Flames. Are they going to be the top team this year? No, but they're starting to build, and that's what you like. They've got a great they had a great draft choice this year. So I think those things, those building blocks and creating that culture is going to help the Flames win and find the right people that want to play here.
Got passionate with that answer. That was your longest answer yet.
Yeah.
Scott in Vancouver writes that he says Allvin got an assistant GM position in Seattle. So bravo to Patrick Allvin. Interestingly, the mental coach of the Flames has signed with the Seattle Kraken too. I guess everybody's going to Seattle, but they are predicted to miss the playoffs, Seattle too, which, speaking of, I don't think we have enough time in this segment. We'll have to carry it over to the next segment. But with Vegas, you're obviously following very clearly what they do. And Kelly, we had 2 minutes in this segment. Kelly McCrimmon, when he lost it in the playoffs at the mic, what did you think about that? So you talk about the expansion rules, same rules as Seattle. Where are they?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Well, I think it's great. And, people always go, well, they had such an easy pick in the expansion draft. No, they didn't. You know what? They had players that other teams didn't want. If the other teams want them, they would have protected them and forced their hand for other things. But they've done a great job of sometimes, sacrificing the future for today. That's great if it works. I mean, when it doesn't work, then you're going to be caught into a bad situation. But they've done a great job of trading for players, getting free agents, and re-signing them. And people seem to love playing there. It's a great spot.
Well, and that's the point. I was surprised that Kelly, because you say you've known Connie since he was 10. I've known Kelly since I was 16. And I've never seen him lose his cool to that degree. And he still didn't really lose it, not Tortorella worthy, but still you could tell he'd had enough.
Yeah.
Of the criticism. And they're number 2 coming back with a brand new head coach, which will be a guy that's never coached a game in the NHL.
So, yeah, and I mean, that's always interesting. I mean, you'll find that teams go from, a guy who's coached a lot in the NHL, been on the the Ferris wheel and gets on and off of it. And then you get teams that go, hey, we're going to try something new. Because we want something new within our players that they're going to try and accept a new method of coaching, a new way of playing, because they've got a very talented team and they're really good. You don't get to the finals for no reason at all, but they're exciting. I like what they're doing, and we're
going to take a break here right away. Jeff the Stamps fan says Calgary's too good of a city for a certain Florida Panther. We'll be right back on the RP Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
On the air, hockey people, you got it. Oh, are we on? Hello. Sorry about that. We got telling stories here. No, I didn't have my headphones in. Sorry, producer Corey. I didn't have my hearing aids on. You know how that is, Pat.
I got them on.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, so anyways, could have been worse. Could have been worse, we said on the air. So we're back live. One more segment with the Stanley Cup champion, Colin Patterson, live from Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. 1800th episode. We threw the Quick Six show topics out the window. Patter was asking us about our sponsors, though, so I should tell you, when we do our normal warm-up, which is brought to you by Uniglobe Carefree Travel, and I'm looking forward to seeing Uniglobe Carefree Travel Neil Chark in Vancouver this weekend when the Riders were at Vancouver. I'm going. How about this, Colin? And picture this. A cruise with CFL greats Adam Bighill, Willie Jefferson, Jake Ceresna out of the port of Fort Lauderdale, February 20th. It's a 7-day cruise. Prices from $18.99, cruise only. Contact Neil Chark at Uniglobe Travel, Neil C. at uniglobecarefree.ca. Don't be caught in the cold. Literally, Pat, you're going to be sitting here February 20th, freezing your ass off going, I wish I was on that boat.
I know.
With those football players.
Are you going to be on?
Everybody asks. I don't know what I'm doing this afternoon. I literally don't know what I'm doing this afternoon. You know what I might do this afternoon? But anyways, email Neil C. at uniglobecarefree.ca and get on that boat. You said you were talking to Randy Moeller this summer?
Yes.
Did you know what his brother does? One of his brothers does here in town?
Not
and I don't
Mike,
mind saying
not Mike then.
Not Mike, his other brother.
Yeah.
Manages the Cross Iron Mills Mall.
Wow. That's impressive.
It was
Right? The Mollers.
Probably the busiest mall in Western Canada. Well, West Ed probably is. But Cross Iron Mills would be up there based on volume. So I'm thinking of knocking on that guy's door. I never met him.
Yeah.
And just saying, I'm your brother's buddy from Florida. Yeah. Can we get a photo together? If he's as zany as Randy, he would probably do it.
Well, you know what? I mean, between Mike and Randy, you know Mike too as
Mike
well.
Bowles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they can talk.
He's a broadcaster, Mike.
I imagine there's a listener within the family, and maybe this is it.
Right. Can you imagine if he's an introvert?
Oh, my
that would
that'd be
probably is. Anyway, I think that's what I'm going to do. And I want to go down and see the new rink. Everybody's telling me I got to see the new rink. And that, to me, it'll be cool because I saw it at this stage with the Saddle Dome. And then at this stage, what are they calling it?
Scotia Place.
Okay, cool. And you had a tour the other day?
I had a tour about a month ago. And it was fantastic. I mean, the amount of work that they're doing, and as I said, the view lines are going to be unbelievable. They've added more washrooms than they were told to have.
That's big these days.
That's huge, and just the different selections of types of seats and types of food that you're going to have, and the availability of it. Right now, I think there's one commissary within the dome that sort of cooks for everything. Like for the suites, now I think there's going to be 6 of those. So that makes, obviously the option for different types of food, but also, fresher, hotter, all those things.
But, it's really funny when you say that because I love the Saddle Dome. You love the Saddle Dome. And I will accept that it's obsolete. But I went up to New York on a Panthers road trip this year, and I'd never been to MSG before.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around that place going, this is more cramped than the Saddle Dome. How come they get away with it?
Yeah.
Can you answer that question?
Well, that's New York. I mean, they spent $1 billion on renovating, Madison Square Garden.
Concourses, clearly.
Well, back in the day, there's it's on the 5th floor. I don't think people understand that. And above it is the bowling alley. They have 300 lane bowling alley above it. I don't know if they still do, but if you were winning and the fans had chirped them enough and it went dead quiet, you could hear the bowling upstairs, pins knocking down. So it was great. So, obviously they need some soundproofing. That's probably where a bunch of the money went to.
I'll tell you what. Yeah. I mean, I walked in there and they play a video they play a video for the arena, MSG, before they play a video for the Rangers because the arena is so vaunted. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it said, they quoted all the quotes, like Mark Messier, quote from it. The second you step in, you feel the vibe. And I'm like, shoot, you do.
You do. And it really is. I mean, it's one of those neat old rinks, that has been obviously renovated, but you still get that historic value when you go in. And I think that's what, if you're a team that has that advantage, that should be good for you. It's like the Flames with the Saddle Dome now. People don't want to come into it because it is older. Back in the day when it first opened, the away dressing room was better than 90% of the home dressing rooms. That's how things have changed over the years.
Except for New York. It just kind of annoys me that they can get away with it. But Calgary, I mean, you'll be happy that you got a new arena and it's all great. But by the way, here's a story for you as we're sitting here. I've gotten to be, and I still don't know why, I thank God, really close friends with Ron Duguay. And his relationship with the Rangers is very similar to Theo's with whoever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said to Duguay, I'm sitting in the crowd and they're showing this Rangers video, and he's in it twice. 100 years of Rangers hockey.
Yeah.
Over 100 years. No, this was the 100th year, this last one. I'm like, Dukes, you might want to pipe down carving the team. You're in the video twice. And he texts me, he's like, I find that hard to believe. And he's funny.
Yeah.
Like, really funny. Going through a tough time.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you're following him at all. But anyways, not to be a downer, we should talk about Breaking Free Foundation. It's 2 reasons why I'm here. One's to see Randy. 3 reasons. 1 to see Randy, 2 to see you and Theo, and 3 to see Gary. Yeah, he knows it. The Rider fan here.
Not in that order, though.
It shifts depending on the day. But it's Theo's golf tournament. When he asked me, this is your 5th year?
5th or 6th, yeah.
Okay, this is my 4th year hosting it. And when Theo said, will you come host this thing? I'm like, there's nothing I would not do for Theron Fleury. Yeah. And so that's tomorrow, and we'll be live from Golf Fanatics. So tell people what they need to know about this event.
So, Breaking Free Foundation, we help people deal with trauma, all different types of trauma, and trauma for everybody is a little different. We have peer-to-peer help groups that meet once a month, and then we have what we do is we raise money for grants to give people to go to the proper trauma psychologist that they need. And that's been really good. We have our golf tournament starting tomorrow, but we also have an online auction at Elevate Auctions, which are doing a great job for us. We've got about 37 items up there, some very unique items. And we raise money because we're a group of 4 volunteers. We don't have, we have 1 paid person who does the accounting. But other than that, it's all volunteer work, and we try to raise as much money as we can, and it's always tough. There's lots of great charities out there, so we appreciate any donations or anybody that could go online and look at the auction and bid on that. And we're going to have about 60 people at our golf tournament tomorrow. It's at Golf Fanatics. Half is going to play par 3 course, which is pretty neat, and then the other half will play a virtual golf on the driving range, which is also neat. And then we switch it up and go back and forth.
So this is the thing that's near and dear to us, not to us both, is Theo. But I was with a social worker the other night. It was a barbecue, and we were talking about the Breaking Free Foundation, and I said, guess how long the waiting list is for the Breaking Free Foundation? So somebody just finally has the courage to muster up the courage to say, I need help. So they call your foundation. Congratulations. How long are you waiting?
You know what? You're waiting a while now, although we've shortened up the lineup. We had 300 people on the waiting list, and so we had to cut it off because it gets, it hurts when you're the 300th person and you're not getting looked after.
2 years. Can I say it?
Yeah.
You got to wait 2 years.
So that's why we need to raise as much money as we can and get more people through. We do $750 grants, and that typically gets you 3 to 4 sessions with a psychologist who is a specialist in your field that you need for your trauma.
Right. So Breaking Free Foundation, is this the first year of the online auction?
This is the first year of the online auction. It's going great.
Good.
It's going way easier for the group of us, putting the tournament together. It's been a lot of fun, actually. I've learned a lot from the online stuff. And Bill Brown, who you know from Elevate Auction, he does more for charity in Calgary than I think anybody. And he's just a great guy. And he said, why don't you try it this year, doing it online? And we're probably we've done more than we've probably done in the last couple of years.
So you know what? I never met that guy until I was emceeing the Rocky Mountain Rotary Golf Class. Were you there?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, so that's where I met him. Yeah. And all of a sudden we clicked, and he's a great dude, as you're saying. So somebody was saying, like, what are you going to say to these people in Calgary on the mic? And I said, well, I'll tell you what I'm not going to say. Because every year I say, who here is optimistic about the Flame season? 4 hands go up in the room. And I can name them. Colin Patterson, Joel Otto, Tim Hunter, Rennie Corbett. It's all because you have to.
Yeah. No, we don't have to. We believe in what the organization is, and we believe in what Craig Conroy is doing. And we just think that, with a little bit of help and a couple lucky bounces, especially early on, if they can, jump out, they can have a very productive season. Whether they make the playoffs or not, I believe they can, but you never know. Obviously, you need strong goaltending. Their defense core is going to be, I think, very good up front. They've got some good young talent. Now it's up for guys to take the bull by the horns and make it work. Because you know, as a young player, you go, just give me the opportunity. And there's going to be lots of opportunities for young guys. And I think that's what the Flames have done well, especially moving their farm team here, having the Wranglers here. I think more kids have played, you know, gone up and played a game in the last 2 or 3 years than ever within the Flames organization.
Well, I'm sure you are positive as you get it now. As me being a professional speaker, I've done thousands of these things. When I ask that question, it's a buzzkill in the room. You try to get people going. I'm not asking that anymore. No. So can you at least get loud if I ask it?
Yeah, I'll scream next time.
Scott in Vancouver says, sounds like you're doing some great work there, Colin. So there you go. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Our alumni, we have a great group of guys living in Calgary. We have about, you know, our alumni accepts guys who played in the NHL, but not necessarily for the Flames, that reside in Calgary now. So we have about 100 guys in our alumni, 50 that played for the Flames, 50 that didn't. We do over 200 different events a year.
So you're the busiest alumni in the NHL.
Yeah, I would say we are. And we have, you know, great guys, great participation. You know, obviously you get in for, you know, somebody says, hey, we want to help you. Sorry.
They're cutting me off.
Okay. Well, we do a great job.
You do. Thanks for coming down, man.
Thanks, Rod. Always a pleasure, buddy. Thanks for helping out.
Hour 2 coming up on the RP Show.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Hello, everybody. It's the RP Show. Very special day as we welcome viewers of Boston, Nevada on the Silver State Sports Network, Silver State Sports and Entertainment. Welcoming Hour 2, trucking along, Game Plus streaming, the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel, and of course, as always, WQVZ Radio. Hi, it looks a little different. Please don't adjust your sets. We've got the great Krawick.
Krawick, you got it.
Yeah, I got it.
That's
Mandy, I never know. Chikai. Is it Ukrainian?
That's the only words I know. That's all my dad would ever say. I asked my dad for something. He goes, Chikai.
Calm down.
Wait.
He says to get closer to me. Producer Corey loves your branding, loves your jacket.
Struggling.
He says, just get a little closer to me, Ron and Don style. So, yes, for the viewers in Nevada that just tuned in, they're like, what is going on? What is jumping out of our television sets right now? It is the 1800th episode of the RP Show coming at you live from Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. You hear us talk about it every single day, and we're here today for a very special show. So, Randy is with me for the opening 15 minutes of the hour. And then Ryan Thelwell will be joining us, three-time Grey Cup champion, NFL alum with a variety of teams. I was just telling Randy his story. He is a former Calgary Stampeder BC Lion, but also 49er, Jaguar, Steeler, UNIP, Charger. He'll be joining us to talk ball for all. Ryan Thelwell coming up in the next segment. But thanks for having us, buddy. How's the summer?
The summer's been wonderful. I've had lots of time at home. It's been a little slow in here. People aren't thinking about hockey this summer. So we're struggling a little bit, but hopefully we'll get some more people now with hockey season coming back in September and people wanting to get the dust wiped off and get those shots back in. So hopefully we'll see some more people.
Well, number one, before we talk about the sports business of the day, the sports headlines, because that's what we do here every day, tell our viewers wherever they may be, because they're tuned in from all over and various platforms, radio, television, streaming, and podcast about Overtime Hockey Lanes and why they should check it out if they haven't already.
Well, as you say a lot, we are the amusement park for hockey.
Yes,
we're not. I don't like to brand us as a training center. You can train. You can train to whatever level you want to. But we're here to have fun and keep hockey fun for whatever age you are, whether you're 4 years old or whether you're 94 years old. You can come in here and shoot. Or whether you've played in the NHL or you've never played hockey before and you're holding the stick for the first time. We'll show you, if you want, we'll show you how to shoot and show you how to hit the targets and just come in and try hockey.
Well, what I love about it is now the Flames, like Colin Patterson, he's been in here before. The NHLers have been here. They know of it.
Yeah.
However it is or why they came here, I don't know. But before we get to the thing, and we got some great viewer questions that have come in for you too, by the way. But tell the people about the $500 challenge over our shoulder here.
Where are we there? There are 2 holes, 500. They're a little bit bigger than a puck. So 3 1/4 inches wide, 1.5 inches high. And you get 5 pucks for $10. You get one of those 5 pucks in the hole, you win $500. It's just that easy, Rod.
Well, not that easy. But 3 people have done it.
3 people have done it. I've done it 13 times. My wife won't pay. Can you talk to her?
Well, you're a sharpshooter. Hey, I get it. So that's the $500 challenge. Stop in here. Five pucks for $10?
5 pucks, $10.
Okay, and you put it in this little slot, and you could win $500 courtesy Overtime Hockey Lanes. From the audience, I'll oblige. Jason from Red Deer writes in, and he says, that's a whole lot of purple and yellow, Randy. Are you an LA Kings fan by chance?
It was way back when. They had a contest. What's the best name in hockey? And, there's Zarley Zalapsky, but the best name that I feel was in hockey was Rogashin Vachon.
Rogie Vachon.
Rogie.
Yeah. I used to, when I was a kid, I thought it was Rogation. It's not.
Rogation,
it's
no.
Rogashan.
No, Rogashan.
Right. Yeah, LA
Rogashan.
Kings. Well, there you go. We got to get Kelly Rudy in here, speaking of LA Kings goalies, although I don't think he ever wore the purple and gold. Jay writes in, he says, me and the girlfriend might be by this week to try it out. Please do.
That'd be wonderful.
It is an amusement park for hockey players. And please do what a lot of the viewers have done. Identify yourselves. Tell them you're here because you watch the RP show. and that would be fantastic. Allie in Texarkana, Texas is watching. She says, that sounds like fun. Couldn't do it, but it would be fun to try. Oh, the $500. You never know until you try.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had one guy in here. He's like, I'm never going to get this. And his first shot, way up over the net. Second shot, a laser beam right in the hole.
Wow. Was he using a graphite stick?
He was.
Yeah, I know. They take off with that thing. And,
oh, yeah.
Well, dude, I told you this is going to go fast, and I just love this place. I'm very passionate about it, not as much as Randy because he owns it, but close. Talk about the young gals that were working out shooting here this morning, because I think you were standing there. I said to the one girl, she went, think, bar down. And I'm like, I was going to say, bar down, bro, but I can't. I said, what do you guys say? Bar down, sis? And she just started laughing. Tell them who those girls were.
They were a group of college girls who would come in Wednesday mornings for an hour and just shoot. So every Wednesday morning, on their off season throughout the summer, they came in and shot for an hour and just keep their skills up and maybe work on some new skills with their coaches, and away they go.
Well, it's funny because she said, I said, what school do you go to? She goes, Quinnipiac, like I wouldn't know where it was. I said, that's Rod Brindamore's school. Did you see her face?
Oh, she just lit up. You know that.
Yeah, she just brightened. Yeah. So anyways, that's what's cool, which, by the way, speaking of I guess we can get down to the sports topics of the day, and I want to keep it positive. Ryan Thelwell coming up in the next segment. Our guest segment is brought to you by Prairie Panels. So if you're building a shop, commercial, rink, commercial space, look up prairiepanels.ca. They're the place to do. They do this. Who did this for you, by the way?
I built this.
You're a very handy guy, Randy. If you don't want to do it on your own, go to Prairie Panels. Check them out at prairiepanels.ca. But the Blue Jays, they've won 13 of 19. They won in Tampa Bay last night 10-5. The audience nodding their heads here because they all know everybody's into the Blue Jays right now. Ironically, were you a little for the U.S. viewers, you didn't see this. Colin Patterson was with us last hour, Stanley Cup champion, originally from Rexdale, Toronto. He's not even following the Blue Jays, which shocked me that he wouldn't be because are you?
I always follow. We've got the TVs on here, and the Blue Jays are always on. I've got the sports channel on there, and I was concerned, like, they go to the finals within one game last year, and then this year it's like, they're tanking. But now they're playing when they need to, and so they're coming up, and I think they're going to make the playoffs.
Half game out of a wild card spot, and it's just funny. I was on the radio in Edmonton today, Sports 1440 Edmonton, and I was the guest, and their poll question was, where are you on the Blue Jays right now? On the bandwagon, off the bandwagon, on, off, and back on. I said, I'm C. I was on, off. Now I'm back on the bandwagon. I'm watching it. My baseball season's over, so I have the time. Now, the second topic of the Quick Six Show topics, brought to you by Uniglobe Carefree Travel in Vancouver and our good friend Neil Chark. I'll see you, Neil, this weekend in Vancouver with the Riders at the BC Lions. Second point is this. Let me read the script. Bear with me. Sophie Cunningham was booed when she checked into the Indiana Fever's 101-95 victory over the Toronto Tempo on Tuesday and intermittently throughout the game. Cunningham has become the political lightning rod for her stance against transgender women playing in the WNBA. And I'm just going, why is this all over my TV? Why is this all over my phone? Get this away from me. I don't know where you stand on that, but what's your take on what we're seeing out of the WNBA?
Well, I don't know why they're booing her. She's the protector for I can't think what's her
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark, yes. Would they boo Semenko for protecting Gretzky? She's there. I watched her play. She's got some great shots. She's got some great moves. She can play well. And when they're going after your superstar, she's got her back. And I don't know why. I haven't listened to what her political views are, but this is sports. It's not politics. Get off.
Well, she didn't have political views. There were that randomly she told ESPN that transgender women should not be allowed to play in the WNBA, and all of a sudden that's what started all of this. Mm-hmm. But what made me think of it also was these young girls here today shooting pucks. I saw the highlights of the game last night. I don't watch it anymore. The WNBA has turned me off. I tried it. This is gross to me. But I saw all these young girls in the arena in Toronto. They showed up hours before the game trying to get autographs. They got their jerseys on Fever, Tempo, blah, blah. And then this crap happens?
Yeah.
Then that's what I'm saying. Clean this up.
Yeah, there's no reason for it. you say a few things like what you're feeling, and all of a sudden you get trashed on it.
Well, I'm with you. I mean, I'm a Sophie Cunningham fan, but I like you say, where does this come? Why? Now, when you say, would they boost Semenko? They would here in Calgary. So this was a road game for the Indiana Fever, so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe.
Right. Okay. Enough of that distasteful. Because it's summer and football, we have news from the Canadian Football League. Edmonton defensive back J.J. Ross, Elks quarterback Cody Fajardo, the Nevada Star, and BC running back Xander Horvath have been named the CFL top players for Week 11. Cody threw for 301 and a tud in Edmonton's 42-12 victory over Toronto on Saturday. Our poll question today, which is brought to you by EMJ Marketing, Elite Keynote Speakers Bureau. What's Canada's game of the week in the Canadian Football League? I'll just tell you right now, my vote is the Saskatchewan Roughriders at the BC Lions. I'll be there Sunday. Yeah. Gary, you like that one? That's your vote? Who's going to win it? Oh, the Riders, he says. He didn't even have to think about it. So we got Ottawa at Montreal Thursday. We've got Winnipeg at Edmonton Friday. Saturday, the Battle of the QEW, Hamilton at Toronto. And then Sunday, BC home to Saskatchewan. We're getting into way more of this with Ryan Thelwell. Next segment, he's a 3-time Grey Cup champion and Stamps alum, but where are you on the CFL? I feel like you are just a Canadian sports fan. Like, you must have your eye on it.
Love the CFL. Now, I born and raised in Edmonton, so I was the City of Champions era.
Yep.
But moved to Calgary in '83, and I'd say I converted to the Calgary fan after about 10 years. So
it took you that long?
Oh yeah, but it didn't hurt that I used to be a sideline coach with the cheerleaders in the early '90s and late '80s.
Oh, yeah, so, you're a dance guy by trade, right?
Yeah, ballroom dance guy by trade. But so I was telling the cheerleaders which cheers to do in the late 80s and early 90s. So I was in Toronto for it was at 91 Grey Cup win.
That was a good one. Pause by the second. Carlos in Indiana pointing out it's 1:11 Eastern. For those that celebrate, and 11:11 Mountain. Out here in the Western, the Mountain Time Zone, we celebrate that every day. Thank you, Carlos, for not letting that slip by. Eric in Virginia says Toronto versus Hamilton is his game of the week. Listen, it's different for everybody. I get the inclusivity portion of this, and that's part of the reason why Sophie Cunningham is being booed. That's what it was because of being exclusive, not inclusive. Eric in Virginia says the WNBA is too much. That's kind of where I'm at. But back to the CFL kind of makes us feel warm and fuzzy, doesn't it? Yeah, it does.
Oh, speaking of CFL, guess who's my neighbor is? Two doors down.
I was going there with that. I was going there. Tell the viewers about that, please.
And I invite him in for a tasty adult beverage every time he pulls up and parks in front of the house. That's Craig Dickinson. We're acquaintances.
Special teams coach of the Calgary Stampeders, who we're not only real friends, we're Facebook friends. He knows that we're here, but he's a very busy guy. I can't imagine the hours that he's coming and going.
Busy.
From the neighborhood. His special teams coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders, his brother is the head coach, Dave Dickinson. Ken in Mississauga writes in, he says, the Alouettes are the 12.5-point favorites. That is a big spread. Will they cover? I feel like it's not about who's going to win. Where are you on the sports betting thing, by the way?
I do not bet on sports. Now, people say, my wife said, you're a gambler. You play poker. Well, playing poker is not gambling. Betting on sports is gambling. And we can argue about
poker's not gambling.
We can argue about that for days.
Well, you know what? It's kind of a sport, though. Now that you say that, you have some effect on what's going on.
Well, during COVID, it became a sport. All of a sudden, it's on the sports channel. That's what they've...
No, but I'm saying you have some effect on the outcomes of a poker game.
Yes.
You have no effect of the outcome of a sports game.
Correct.
Is that what your argument is?
I have control with enough information. I have control, like I have control with the stock market. If I have enough information, I can make the right purchases.
Yeah.
No, but that's my argument.
No, I don't. But I never really thought about it that way. Because, like I say, gambling in sports you're better off running a meth lab than being anywhere near it. So I don't bet, and I haven't for decades. But Ken brings up the spread. And the thing is, we all know Montreal's going to win. And if that was the case, why would you watch? But once you put a point spread on it, all of a sudden, whoa, wait, maybe I have a little more interest.
Perhaps, yeah. There's a little more at stake. Like going to watch the chuck wagons. We do the loony bit. Everybody knows the chuck wagons. You stand with your group of 4 people or 3 people, and you bet a loony. It just makes it a little bit more fun.
And some people just can't stop there, and that's the problem. Okay, we have a minute and a half before we bring on Ryan Thelwell. Your best spiel for Overtime Hockey Lanes.
Your game, your goals, your overtime. Come have some fun. Our number 1 rule here is fun.
I like it. Is that new?
Yeah, that's Michelle's.
Oh, you guys are marketers by trade. I just love this place. The moment I walked in, I loved it, and I still do, and we come back every summer. I told you I was coming. I'm a man of my word.
And we appreciate everything you do for us, Rod.
Thank you. And same for you as well. Look at this, everybody. Ryan Thelwell joining us next on our guest segment brought to you by Prairie Panels, 3-time Grey Cup champion, 7th-round draft choice in the National Football League, also a draft choice in the Canadian Football League. He can talk about, well, he said, what do you want to talk about? I said NFL, CFL, whatever you're up to. The guy can handle it. He'll join us next on our 1800th episode of the RP Show. A very special day before a live studio audience here in Calgary, Alberta. We'll be right back on Silver State Sports. Of course, Game Plus streaming, our own YouTube channel, podcast, and across West Central Georgia and East Alabama on WQVZ. RP Show continues right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is time for the guest segment brought to you by our friends at prairiepanels.ca. Ryan Thelwell, he's a Netflix documentary in himself. Montego Bay, Jamaica, Minnesota Golden Gopher, 7th-round pick of the San Francisco 49ers in 1998. CFL draft, 1998, second round as well. 49ers, Chargers, Seahawks, Jaguars, Steelers, Saints, Broncos, and then to the Canadian Football League, where he won multiple Grey Cups, 3 of them. He's a legend, and he joins us today. What's going on, number 3?
Good to see you, my friend. Legend, man. Oh, I don't think I've ever been called that before. I love it.
You know, that's what I think of you. It's good to see you. As you said, it's been good to catch up. It's been a while. Last time we were together, Century Downs in Calgary. You're here today as we broadcast our 1800th episode from Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. What's up with you, Ryan Thelwell? You're in Calgary. How's your summer?
Not much. So we actually relocated, Rod. So the family and I are in Ottawa. Yeah. So we've been here for 2 years. So it's been a bit of adjustment for me. It was moving home. You know, I'm from London, Ontario, so I got to move a little bit closer to mom and dad, and so that's been good. But I was definitely missing Calgary, though, my man. Definitely missing Alberta.
Well, that explains why you couldn't come down to Overtime Hockey Lanes today. You've got to get enough reason. You're in Ottawa. Okay, well, before we get to the NFL, because I know you got your eye on all the leagues. You know, I don't know what it's like where you're at. It's Henry Burris said it last week on this show. It's a culturally suppressed football team, the 0-9 Ottawa Red Blacks. What are you seeing, man?
It is. Do you know what? So I haven't had a chance to get to a game yet in person, but I watch every game, TSN, every night that I have the opportunity to watch. And you know, they've got a good team. And you know, knowing Ryan, like I had an opportunity to spend time with Ryan and Coach Pete Costanza and Drew Tate, ex-teammate, before the season started. And you know, there was a lot of optimism with them coming in from Toronto. And again, like he knows how to win, right? It's just a matter of changing the culture, and sometimes that takes time, right? And I know, Ryan, the fans from Ottawa might not want to hear this because again, they're 0-9, but just give it a bit more time. I know that, you know, knowing how he works and having an opportunity to play with Coach Pete, they will turn things around. But there's got to be a little bit of patience that comes with it. So hopefully the fans will understand that. And you know, like it's not like they're getting blown out in games. Well,
yeah,
the last one was a little bit
for the most part. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
For the most part, they've been in. They've had games that could go either way, right? So they got a tough one coming up here in Montreal. You know, I wouldn't want to be. I heard your last segment. I wouldn't want to be a betting man on that. But yeah, you know what I think.
Well, I'll tell you something. Last hour, we had Colin Patterson with us here, Stanley Cup champion with the Flames. He was in the building, and we talked about culture. And I just said, Ryan, and I'm going to get to your 2011 BC Lions in a second because they're coming up a lot. That team, that 2011 BC team, man, and that also is a Netflix documentary. It is, but. Right. But we just, the media and the fans don't talk enough about culture because I don't think they understand how important it is. And maybe that would be a good time to bring up the 2011 BC Lions. Clearly you had a unbelievable one despite an 0-5 start.
Culture is huge. And if you're a part of an organization where you find yourselves constantly losing, or it seems to be an uphill battle every season. Like if you go back, even look at the NFL or even in the CFL, there are teams that are constantly winning, right? And they might have their down years, they might have their hiccups, but for the most part, they come out on top. And I think it just comes down to culture. If you're constantly losing, it's sometimes tough to get out of that mindset and to get out of your own head. And that's why teams or organizations will bring in new coaches because they want to get a fresh look. Let's put together, or let's develop a new culture within the organization. But sometimes that takes time, right? You have guys that have been a part of the old regime that you know you've got to make those changes, bring in new mindsets, bring in fresh faces, and so I understand. Like you go back to 2011. I wasn't there in the beginning. Like I wasn't there when they started off, and I forget what their record was at the time, but like I wasn't there at the very beginning of the season. It wasn't until about 6 or 7 games left when I had that call from Wally to come back. But the one thing that they had was they had a group of veterans. They had Geroy Simon. They had, you know, Brent Johnson. They had Andrew Harrison. They had guys, Arlen Bruce, guys that were veterans that were all a part of winning teams, and they understood what it took to win. And I think it was just a matter of it's tough. It's tough to say because I don't know what the issue was at the beginning of the season that caused them to start off so slow. But I believe coming into that season, they were one of the favorites. Like they were touted to be one of the top teams, and circumstances come about, whether it's injuries or things will happen that will contribute to that start. But once they got on a roll, they have Wally there, the consummate professional. He's a winner. He knows how to change the culture around. And so it wasn't a surprise to see them go on that run and ultimately win the Grey Cup in 2011.
It's hilarious that you say they, because for you it's a we, but for the viewer, I mean, most watching this right now know the story, but for those that don't, because we're airing in Las Vegas on television, they were 0-5, and then 1-6, and then they went on to win the Grey Cup. But here's the funny thing. What I love, you're not a chest beater, but you know who is? Tad Cornegay and Arlen Bruce, who watch this show all the time. And so to this day, they say they're the reason they saved the BC Lions. So like, if you want to believe that, just go ahead, just go with it. Okay, here's you going, I wasn't, you're as big a part of it as anybody. No, I love it. But the reason it's so vaunted is that Ottawa started 0-5. The problem is they're now 0-9. But that team comes up every year now when a team has a bad start. And every year they're like, remember the 2011 BC Lions? That's a movie.
Hey, sometimes all you got to do is get in, right? And it really is. I don't get to watch as much CFL. We've got the 4 kids now, 2 in university, and my son who plays volleyball. So my wife kind of limits the amount of football that I watch. But it's sometimes it only takes a couple wins, and all you got to do is get in, Rod. And how many times? And we've both been a part of the CFL for a long time. How many times have we seen like a third place team that barely makes it in? They come in, they go on a run, and they end up winning the Grey Cup. It happens quite a bit, right? And so again, I know right now they're 0-9 and their chances are slim to make the playoffs, but there's still a lot of football left, right? And I know that they have begun to make some changes. I believe that they're looking to bring in a new president, which again, that starts at the top, right? That's a culture changer right there. They're going to bring somebody in that's going to be able to disseminate what the issues are and make those changes at the top. And I feel like that will trickle down. But again, there's still half a season left. All you got to do is get in, and it's momentum, right? What do we always say? The CFL season starts the second half of the season. So again, I don't count them out. They're right there, right? A couple of small changes here and there, and I do believe that we can see a turnaround there.
Well, what's really cool about this is because it is a small league, and whether it's fans, media, players, we all are together and we care about the others. And the reason I bring that up is Scott from Vancouver writes in and he says, thanks for asking Ryan about the Red Blacks. Like, it was the first thing that I asked you, and other than the fact that you're in Ottawa, I was going to say, why did I ask you about that? But my point, they care. People care. They don't like seeing a team like that,
Yeah, you know what? You're right. It's a small league, right? And when you see one team suffering, it affects the league overall, right? So, again, I'm a CFL fan. I don't just cheer for the teams that I played for. I find now, like, people ask me about the game and what do I miss about the game and who do I cheer for. There's so many guys that I've played that are now either coaching and or in management roles. And so I cheer for them. I want them to be successful. I want them to win. And I just want to win the league to win overall, right? So a successful Ottawa team, I feel, makes for a better league. And, we don't want to see Montreal just run away with it. We want to tighten up the East a little bit more, right? So, yeah, I'm just a big believer in the league overall and the health of the league, and you want to see them do well.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Speaking of healthy leagues, and you brought it up, I was going to say, of all those teams that you played with in the NFL, where did you spend the most time? And is that the team you identify with? Like, do you have a team that you follow more than the others?
Yeah. So you know what? I was a Philadelphia Eagles fan growing up. I used to love Randall Cunningham. During my time in the NFL, majority of my time was spent with the San Diego Chargers, and so I do have a soft spot in my heart for the Chargers. Just because it was the place where I got an opportunity to play. Like I started off on a practice roster, busted my butt. Change again. It's about it's like anything, it's about who you know, right? The head coach got fired about week 10. The quarterback's coach, who was June Jones at the time, got brought in or was already there as the intern coach. And I'd spent a lot of time with him running routes for his quarterbacks after practice. And so he activated me to the practice roster. And so started off just playing special teams, and by the end, I actually started the last two games for the Chargers. Right, so I do have a soft spot in my heart for the Chargers just because they gave me that opportunity.
Well, thank you for that. And if my memory serves, 98, was that not the year Ryan Leaf went number 2 overall? Wasn't
It definitely was. So you know what was interesting, Rod? I believe we had the number one defense in the league at that time, and probably one of the worst offenses in the league when the year ended. So it was such a discrepancy, right? And so me being on the offense, I just remember sitting on the sidelines in between drives, and usually like when you're on the sidelines and your unit's not in, you're talking to your coaches. We didn't have the iPads back then, right? But you're discussing what went on the series before. We spent a lot of time watching the defense because it was just you're just so in awe of how good that they were. Like they had Rodney Harrison, Junior Seau, just Lou Bush, like just such a talented team. And I could have swore there were times where I would just be on the sidelines, like praying to God, like, oh my goodness, thank God I don't have to play against these guys because that's how good they were. So yeah, the San Diego Chargers, man, it's I'm still an Eagles fan. I've always been an Eagles fan, but if I was to choose a team, it would be the Chargers.
Well, and I can ask you about the Eagles in a second. You know how much I love the viewers too. Virginia Eric writes and he says, humility, great to see and hear. Oh, I know it's rare, but that's the way Ryan's always been. Just a very, very first-class guy. I go to San Diego and it kills me because it's such a fantastic place. And they like hate the NFL. That they literally hate the NFL. And I'm like, I can't blame you. I mean, I get it, but that's sad because it's such a great NFL market.
It was, and you know what? I loved my time there. The fans were amazing. The support was amazing, and it was hard to see them leave San Diego. And I guarantee there are a lot of fans that are disgruntled that aren't following the team now that they're up the highway up in Los Angeles just because of that move, right? And that's sad to see. And you know what? Hopefully, like you never know. You say never say never, but again, maybe the league at some point will come around and revisit the opportunity to put another team back there. You never know, right? I know it's tough because they've already got two teams in LA, but my heart is always with San Diego, and I'd love to see an organization back there again at some point.
Well, you mentioned the Eagles, and there's a lot of things that are fun about this time of year. And one of them, I just love the record predictions, the standings predictions.
Yep.
We had the voice of the Eagles on a couple of weeks ago, Ricky Ricardo, and he thinks they're going to be better than ever. I mean, that's his job. But he thinks, reading between the lines, A.J. Brown being out of there will be addition by subtraction. I mean, they're a great team. But what do you see happening with them?
I agree with them. Again, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not just saying it because I'm biased, but I do feel that they're going to be better this year than they have been the last couple of years. And they're right there, right? Last year, they were right there. I think there was a little bit of a letdown following Super Bowl and everything that kind of goes along with that. But again, I think the changes that they made, and I love A.J. Brown. I really do. But I just feel like making that change and moving him out the draft picks that they brought in, that's just gonna balance the team out a bit more. I personally think their defense is phenomenal, and I think they're gonna have one of the top defenses in the league, which, as we know, it takes defenses to win championships. I do, as an offensive guy, I still believe that that's the case, and so I'm excited to see how things go. I just hate mentioning the Cowboys, but it's going to be exciting to see how they're going to be good. I think the Cowboys are going to be a lot better than they were last year, and there's just so much. There's just so much of unknown right now with the NFC East. Like, you don't know what to expect from Washington. You know, they had a down year last year, but I think that had to do a lot with injuries. I feel like they're going to be better this year. The Giants, again, I think they've got a great young team, but I just think that they're not quite there right now. I think they're gonna be another year or two before we see improvements with them. But I think overall, it's still the Eagles' division to lose. That's what I feel.
3 minutes left, and then your arms will get a break. But it's funny you bring up the NFC East, because I feel like the hate in that division is more than any other division in the NFL. And I'm a Cowboys fan. The reason I said, I'm like, you're
I gotta go.
No, but I know. But why would you be worried about the Cowboys? I keep saying we. It's not we. I'm trying to get off that. Haven't made the playoffs the last 2 years. What would worry you about the Dallas Cowboys? I'm not worried. I don't think they're going to do anything.
I just feel like Jerry Jones will do anything to win. And when you have owners that have that mentality, it doesn't take much. It's just a few changes here and there. And they've got a talented offense. I truly do believe they got a talented offense. Defensively, I know that they've struggled. But again, I think similar to like I said with Ottawa, I guess they're not going to start up 0-9, but they're just right there. I feel like a few tweaks here and there, and they'll be right back in it. And Jerry's just one of those guys. And I think they recognize it. They made a lot of offseason changes to boost up that defense. And so it still remains to be seen. But it's just one of those teams, Rod, that I'll never count out. I don't know what it is. It's just something about the organization. And again, offensively with Dax and the guys that they got there on the offensive side, again, I think they're going to be explosive. And just a few tweaks for the defense, I feel like that will help push them over the hill, right? And so, hey, as much as I hate to say it, Rod, I think your Cowboys are going to have a lot better year this year.
That's what they're saying in Dallas. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But by the way, they're going to kick us off the air here right away. But I will say this. I'm going to be in Vancouver this weekend catching the Lions and the Riders, and as a guest of Amar Dolman and the BC Lions. When you talk about it, I'm not going to compare him to Jerry Jones. I have too much respect for Amar to say that. But they will win a Grey Cup under this guy, Amar Dolman.
I agree. I am just in awe with what he's doing there in BC. He's one of those guys that will do anything to win. And I like the stuff, not even just on the field, Rod. I like what they're doing off the field to bring the fans back. He cares, right? Like even the small things, like bringing in specific entertainers to kick off the season. I know us, and I say us, like me and my family will always watch to see who they're bringing. Right? And
okay,
so for us,
they're kicking us off. They're kicking us. We gotta go. Ryan, thanks for catching up. Great job, man. Let's keep in touch. The great Ryan Thelwell, 3-time Grey Cup champion, joining us as we're out of time in this segment. We'll be right back on the RP Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
It's like walking onto the field. Hey, welcome back. See what I'm saying? It's like walking on the field in the middle of a game. We got Randy back here. We're live.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, we're good. Why not, right? The people are just showing up. Peter Kelly. See, I got it. I see. I didn't burn all those brain cells. Vancouver Eric writes in. He says, another great guest RP. We're talking about Ryan Thelwell, who was just with us. I got a lot of questions here to answer from the folks. I thought, you know what? I spend so much time on my own every day. Why would I not bring Randy back on? He owns the place, for the love of God. How much of that Ryan Thelwell interview did you catch? Your wife was watching it.
My wife watched it. I was doing some business stuff here, but
you're busy doing PR.
That's right.
I feel like you're very good at PR.
I try to be. Yeah.
Somebody has to be. Noni writes in from Calgary, says, big congratulations on your 1800th show. I know you love what you do, and we love what you do. So let's go for at least 1800 more. That's from Noni. It's our 1800th show, Peter. And a very special day broadcasting here from Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. Allie writes in from Sherwood Park. Happy 1800 show anniversary, RP. Moose and crew from your longtime viewers, Allie and Kev, watching since show 1. Adding Scruffy has been a great addition, along with Kevin the Medium. Another awesome milestone achieved. Congrats, Allie from Sherwood Park, Alberta. Where specifically in Edmonton? You say you're from Edmonton. Where?
The Westmount area. Westmount, Dovercourt, northwest side, Grote Road.
Okay. What brought you here?
I got transferred when I was teaching dancing. I was a professional ballroom dancer and competed just like on Dancing with the Stars. I knew a few people there, but taught here for many years, and that's the reason I came from Edmonton to Calgary.
I feel like we were just getting into that in your first segment, and then We cut you off. So you said you taught the Calgary Stampede, the Outriders cheer team?
Yeah, well, I worked with the cheerleaders in the late 80s and early 90s.
You going to do us a cheer or two here?
Oh, no.
You move around pretty well for a man that's danced his whole living. I feel like it would be as physical as being a player.
Yeah, well, when we're teaching people how to shoot here, it's all about body mechanics, and the body mechanics are the same over a lot of the different sports. So I know how a body moves, and I know you just have to relate that to whether you're doing baseball or basketball or hockey. A lot of your basics are all the same. So
there you go. So for the viewers that just tuned us on, this is Randy. He and Michelle own Overtime Hockey Lanes here in Calgary, and they bring you the Overtime segment, which we're not technically in. It's the next segment of the program, Overtime Hockey Lanes, the Overtime segment. Kirk is watching in Toronto. He writes in, he says, "Hey, Rod, we're fellow Etoobicans, Colin Patterson and I. I'm from Mimico. We had Stanley Cup champion Colin Patterson with us earlier on in hour one of the program. And you said you'd met Colin before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a few times.
What a great guy.
And, Ryan used to live in Calgary, but apparently he didn't send you his change of address to that he moved to Ottawa 2 years ago.
Wayne in Victoria, BC writes in and says, what a great human being Ryan Thelwell is. Well, he is, but he skipped town and didn't tell me he was leaving. So other than that, he's a great guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm teasing, but no, he's in Ottawa. Ryan Thelwell, our last guest here, 3-time Grey Cup champion, Calgary Stampeders alum. Since we're sitting here and we're in Calgary, even though we are airing in Las Vegas, and all the various parts, what would you say about that football stadium being empty over there? Because it is. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room.
Well, my neighbor, he had season tickets, Roger, for 30 years. He stopped getting his season tickets because of the rule changes. Now, I know you don't mind the rule changes. You think that they're for good. He has a whole other opinion on that about the rule changes that are coming up with for the CFL. I don't mind them. I'm progressive. I think they'll be good in the long run, but some people just don't like change.
Bro. Don't get me started. I mean, we're sitting here in Overtime Hockey Lane, so I feel like I can bring up any hockey topic to you, and you would know it and have an opinion. Like when because I was working in the game at the time, took out the red line, went to 3-on-3 overtime, did all these things. I don't remember people handcuffing themselves to the outside of the rink saying, how dare you?
Oh.
I'm never going again. What's wrong with these people? And we only have 45 seconds in this segment, but that is it a football thing?
Is there no more 2-line pass? When did
he didn't get the memo. It got lost in the mail along with Ryan Thelwell's I'm moving to Ottawa letter, the fact that the NHL eliminated the red line, which frankly, ask any defenseman and they hate it because the red line used to at least slow guys up coming into your zone. Anyways, we'll be right back with the Overtime segment. We're live on Silver State Sports, Game Plus TV, podcast, and WQVZ Radio. We'll be right back.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. Streaming viewers seeing the word from Western Dodge in the break. Western Dodge is the proud sponsor of our text line. 902-518-3033 is the number to reach us there. From trucks to SUVs, Western Dodge has what you're looking for. Visit them in their showroom or online at westerndodge.ca. One last segment, we call it Overtime. Overtime Hockey Lanes. Randy's been with us for years here, an amusement park for hockey players where skill and fun collide. What do you say? Yeah, that's what you say.
That's what I say.
Yeah, that's what you say. A few things here, business clearing up items. This is the final segment. Darren from Melfort, and I appreciate him, he writes in, he says, only one thing I don't like about CFL rules is the new playoff format where one team doesn't make the playoffs. I hope the Riders are never that team. We kind of talked about this as soon as we went to the break, just how people are losing their minds over the rules. Thank you, Darren, for being somewhat open-minded about that. I just think it's out of control. Virginia Eric says, yeah, the playoff rules seem different. I will say unique is another. Well, it's not until next season. But anyways, thoughts on all of what we've been talking about today?
Not about the CFL rules so much. I'm all about progress and doing new things. Some people hate change. It's hard to change some things. So will it be better? Time will tell.
Yeah, well, about anything. And when I say anything that we've talked about today, here's another one. Ken in Mississauga, Ontario writes in, he says, I just re-listened. So many times we've heard on this show that in the NFL, it is not just about talent. We're airing in a variety of NFL markets. A lot of NFL fans watching, and what the guys have said is you need to be a good person to be in that league. I guess if you're not a good person, you must have all-world talent, because we've seen those guys. We know the stories. We don't need to bring up the news.
No.
But you do need to be good to your teammates. You need to be intelligent. You need to be able to pick up a playbook. You need to be able to get along with people. That's kind of a life thing, isn't it?
Well, that's what Conrad was saying about a lot of the new people that are coming on with the Flames. They're all about the team. It's all about team values, team culture, and you got to be cohesive and gel. And so that's where they're going with that now.
Rich in Edmonton writes in, he says, congrats on 1,800, Rod. Thank you, Rich. Thanks for being with us for a real long time. As a viewer, I guess because we're sitting here in Calgary, there's been a lot of Flames talk today, and I'm wearing Flames gear. And he just talked about the general manager, Craig Conroy. You've been here a long time. There was a time where this was a preferred destination for players. And for whatever reason, it's not. Do you think a new rink changes that?
I hope so. We got a new ring coming. I hope.
It's too late to say no. Yeah. Yeah.
Stanley Cup 27-28. Here we come.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm being serious, though. I mean,
Yeah.
for whatever the reasons are, it's not a preferred destination. Like what you just said to me is the fans, I don't feel, hear that. It's kind of code, but it's true. If you don't want to be here, we don't want you here. I don't think that should be that hard to figure out. But that not everybody's had that stance here.
Yeah, Kachuk's gone because of that, and just whether great player, yes. Does he fit in to help make this team win? No, he fit really well in Florida, and so that's why they won. But every different team has their own culture and their own way of doing things. So you got to put that together to make it win.
All right. Well, the last time you were on, I said, give me your last best pitch, for the Overtime Hockey Lanes, but it wasn't the last. I brought you back on here. Just talk a little more. Not a marketing slogan. Why is this place so great? Why do people love it so much? And who's it for?
It's for everybody. It's not an elite thing. Anybody can come in. One of our best stories, I had a guy come in from Dallas. Huge Dallas Stars fan. Never had a hockey stick in his hand. Came in and shot some pucks. Had a wonderful time. We're here for some hockey fun. That's it. Whether it's ball hockey, ringette, we can do lacrosse in here. Just come in, shoot the puck, hit some targets, make some noise, have some fun. Rule number 1, have some fun.
What are you in, year 4, 5?
We're in year 4.
Year 4. December will be our
4th anniversary.
I pay attention.
That's
People
right.
think I don't pay attention, but I do. What made you want to start? Like I love it. It's built for me and built for anybody that loves hockey. But obviously you do too. What made you want to start it?
It was something I hadn't seen. When I thought about this back in 2019, I went, oh, that's kind of a neat idea that I thought of, but went searching through and through the internet, and there's nobody. There's places that do training. There's no place just anybody can come and shoot.
Ken in Mississauga writes in, he says, I was looking at photos and it looks like a fun place to have a party. I mean, now's not the time to be humble. You didn't mention yet that you do team parties, office parties. Yeah.
Birthday parties, icebreakers. We even had a diaper party here.
Well, I don't want to know about that. But
That's a men's baby shower.
I definitely. Oh, a men's. Okay, I
men's
really don't want to hear about that. Okay, but I mean, I'll tell you something, man. I think you know that I was doing baseball all summer in the Western Canadian Baseball League. We had a team bonding event at a ranch just outside the city. We were riding horses, singing karaoke, playing pool as a team together. We went on a 14-game winning streak after that.
Wow.
You can do that stuff here with any sport. It doesn't just have to be hockey.
Yep, anything. Come and try it. Have some fun. Oh, and our great game we got in the back is called Fockey. Fockey.
I'm wary of saying that. Fockey.
Foosball and hockey combined.
It's really good with kids.
Yes.
Right? It's a lot of fun. How are we doing on time, Producer Corey? I feel like I have... okay. There we go. 1 minute. So, overtimehl.ca, that's your website?
Yeah. Book online. It's only $20 an hour. Come in, shoot hundreds of pucks. Have some fun. We are licensed. I like to say, have a beer, shoot a puck.
Yeah, bring the kids down and the parents have fun in the licensed bar area over here. They got something for everybody, Overtime Hockey League. So thanks again, man. Thanks for everything. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of summer.
You too.
All right. Hey, Tony writes in. He was here last year. He says hi to Randy, Michelle, and Colin. You remember Tony?
I do.
The mountain of a man with a ponytail, 6'6", Tony. Missed you here, Tony, but he was down here last year with us. And his wife's name, Jolene, I'll never forget, voted the greatest country song of all time. Okay, we will see you tomorrow live from Theron Fleury's Golf Classic at Golf Fanatics. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody, on the RP Show.
Dad.